go. Yes, welcome to the Animation Blog. This is Diabolical Souls Presents, and it's me, Gooch. And I got the gang with me, and we're going to be talking Primal Season 2, Episode 5. This one is another banger. This one takes a turn here. It goes somewhere that we never expected. There were some comments like, was I watching the right show at first? Was
right?
No, you're watching the right stuff. This is like an incredible episode. And only, as Vex would said, Tartakovsky can do this. Only he could do it. Because it's just perfect. It wedged it right in there. So
Amazing.
Let's get into this. Yes, get into. And of course, before we get started, if you guys could hit that like button, if you could leave a comment, and if you could subscribe to these lovely people, or just follow them on Twitter, that'd be greatly appreciated. And of course, hit that notification bell. That's for you, Badger. And Vex, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. I've been freezing my tits off all day, but otherwise can't complain. How about you?
It's been minus 47, so they're completely off. Yeah. The Gooch is frozen. Let's put it that way.
Hot, very hot.
Yeah. Yes. It's starting to warm up again, so but it was cold for a couple days there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But Goodwin, sir, there wasn't much yelling at the TV today, was there?
It was a little bit. The front, mostly because wrong dates and stuff like that. But otherwise, yeah, it was pretty interesting and definitely a proper. This is multiple levels to the episode, so it's
yes,
it does its job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great episode, and of course we have the plot strikes back. Nick, how are you doing down there? You're in Florida, and there's snow in Florida. Like who would have thought?
Yeah, I would not have put this on my list of things to see here in 2025. But to
be fair, there is a lot of snow in Miami, and
that is very true. That is very true. Again, I haven't seen that per se in Miami, at least not in a while. But
yeah, the snowfall in the 80s was more noticeable in Miami.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not freezing my testicles off. It's rainy and cold. I just checked the temperature. It's about 40 degrees here, Fahrenheit. So, I'm sure to some of my Canadian friends that, that's probably warm to you guys. But,
oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It's just a rain. I was like, I wish this were snow even, but yeah, I'll take the cold weather. I mean, as I've been getting up early in the mornings to go to the gym, that's when it's the coldest. So I get that kind of early morning, like let me kind of put a hoodie on and some joggers and go hit the gym and sweat.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm doing well aside from that.
Come up here. It was -6 last night Fahrenheit, which is I believe -21 Celsius. So
nice, very nice.
Just a little chilly.
Mm-hmm.
Blair, how are you, sir?
Hi guys. Yeah, I started watching this. I'm like, wait a minute, am I out of what?
Did I click the wrong thing again?
Oh, come on, really? No. But it said the guy's name. I mean, yeah. After last episode, I think this is a good of a mouth cleanser.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It really kind of cleaned it because I was expecting this to be more of they're wounded in a ship and then they're being tracked and don't know it. And, that kind of cat and mouse kind of, we're going to catch up to them. It's like, oh no, we went, completely off. Even think about it. So,
yeah,
but it was a great episode though. But yeah,
great episode. I'm glad you liked it. And of course, our man down in the corner here, ZACK, the magician, the guy that puts the lead to the paper and puts out fantastic work. ZACK, how are you doing, buddy?
I'm actually pretty stumped because this episode is so unique and it really brings the whole series together and explains the theory of man in such a unique way and unifies everything. I don't know what to draw. I thought I had something before, and it stumped me. So I'm like, again, I'm looking at the reference photos of what specifically I'm drawing, and I'm trying to figure out a composition. So it's actually pretty tough right now that I'm like, I don't know. I'm figuring it out.
You'll get there, buddy.
Yeah.
And thanks for joining, Everall. And of course, we can't do this without the lovely chat. So quick hello to them. And Jamma was the first one here tonight. Jamma, JFC, I thought it was Tuesday again. Laugh emoji. Well, thanks, Jamma. Not sure what that means, but I'm glad you find it funny.
Was that comment early, like a day early? Is that why?
That may have been, yeah, like timing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. Timing. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, so is that from last night? Yeah, that might have been from last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It happens.
It's just not the language; it's the brain too.
It's a lifestyle.
Quartzmain. Yeah, it's a lifestyle. Scotty Quartzmain. Hey, happy Tuesday, Gooch and gang. Happy Tuesday to you, Scotty, and thanks for joining us again. You've been joining us for these shows. Just keeping myself warm with a hot cocoa on this cold, snowy night. It's crazy that it's snowing in my hometown of Florida because it never happens here. Yes, craziness. And again, thanks for joining us. Dennis Kelly is in the house. What's up, Dennis? Good to see you, brother. And I believe he's in Ireland right now. So if you're watching, thank you. Blair's here. Let's fucking... Oh?
Yes.
Let's fucking orgasm. Yeah.
Time to get jiggy from the Goodwin. Huge Geronimo. I thought I'd come along and take a peek. Oh, thanks for popping by there, Huge. Yeah, there's Jamma. Let's fucking Gooch. Yeah, there it is. Tech Rat dropping by. Hail, you beautiful bastards. What's up, Rat? Thanks for joining, brother. Big Ship's here. What's up, Big Ship? Always good to see Big Ship here. Charlie Nuclear. We have, and hi, Charlie. Rick Costa's in the house. Most different but totally enjoyable episode. Absolutely awesome episode. Nick's in the chat. Scrolling down. Oh, Boosh. What's up, Boosh? What's up, Gooch and gang? Happy Tuesday. Got a good episode ahead. Bingo, bango, bongo. Let's get into it. Yes. And I'm glad everything's okay with you, Boosh. I hope you're resting and getting well, buddy. Huge Geronimo, make some ice cream, Gooch. Just take the lemons. We'll boil an egg for you. 40 Celsius here. Yeah. 95. Oh, wow. Big ship. And scrolling down. There he is. Angelo Bascami. I wasn't a huge fan of this episode, if I'm being honest. So I'm not going to stick around to ruin the vibe, LMAO. I just thought it was weaker than the rest of the series. It's not bad, though. You can stick around, brother. Like, stick around. If you don't want to, you don't have to. But I'd love to hear your thoughts, like good or bad. So, and look who decided to join us. Look at this guy.
We got the double up OGs.
Let's go.
Yeah. So you know what happens when these guys come onto the stream? We get this. There.
Our OG quota is full tonight.
The OGs are here. I did end up getting that gifted membership, though. Yeah, that's awesome. And Angelo, stick around, bro. If you want to give your takes, I'd be more than happy to read them, bro. And Boosh, nope, bad intestinal pain. My doctor's appointment was delayed because of the weather.
Oh my god!
Sorry to hear that, bro. Yeah.
Been there.
So, yeah. I hope you get better, Boosh. Really, I truly do. Okay, episode 5. This one was not expected. All of us didn't expect this one. I didn't remember this one, to be honest. When I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, there was something that threw me off when I watched it the first time, and here it is. So getting into this, we'll bring it up right now. So here we are. Primal Theory.
Zach, you might want to mute.
Is he echoing?
Yeah, I was starting to hear it.
Okay. So your just the general thoughts when it started. I know, Blair, you kind of thought this was like the wrong episode, like what was going on. Vex, your thoughts when you just started this?
I love this episode. This is also a 10 out of 10 episode for me. I know I'm prematurely saying this before we get to the rating, but I have never seen a show do a complete like mid-season 180 that works this incredibly well.
So, the way we ended the last episode in episode 4 was with that huge war between the Viking warriors and the village versus Spear and Fang, and it was just a bloodbath. And then it ended off with the father and son chasing down Fang, Spear, and Mira, and Mira, and in the boats. And so, like Blair mentioned, we thought this is going to be a continuation. Nope, we're in 1890 England. What? 1890
I saw that.
England.
1890. It's like, what?
Yeah. 1890. Yeah, you heard me. 1890.
We have some confusing fossil records here with a Neanderthal and a T-Rex running around.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. We have, guests arriving at this mansion here, and they're listening. They want to hear about this big announcement from none other than Charles Darwin. And he's trying to defend his theory of evolution to his fellow scientists, C.D. Darlington, Blakely, Bertie, and Giraud. And they're laughing at him and poking fun at this. And because he truly believes that any person can regress back to the primitive roots in order to survive. And they're just saying, laughing in his face, saying, this is a crazy theory. We're not going to even bother with this anymore. Any thoughts to the intro of this episode this week?
It just like in this conversation, I like that it's not so much they disagree completely with like the premise. It's that man has evolved too much to just revert back to its primal state. Like it feels so foreign to them. And then like right after they say that, the old guy, I can't remember his name, he's just like, oh, my nature requires more brandy. And it's just such a night and day difference to like this Neanderthal that we've seen struggling for 14 episodes and riding on the back of a Tyrannosaurus Rex. So I appreciated it for what it was.
I like the time period too. It's, the late Victorian era, they're in this room full of animal heads and old weapons, and they got their tuxes on and their brandy, and debating with the fireplace about this stuff. And like you said, we've seen people trying to make fire and eating raw meat and doing battle with all kinds of weird creatures, and here these people are just surrounded by the dead animals of all the things that they've killed, and pontificating upon the theories of man.
Yeah.
I had. So this is at least like I understood what they were trying to do, but like I'm immediately like, wait, what? Because Darwin's been dead for 8 years at this point. He also would have been like 81, and they're not actually talking about the idea of the descent of man or the origin of species. They're actually discussing a book that was originally published in 1872, I think. That's Expression of Emotions in Man and Animals. The reason I believe that Tartakovsky chooses 1890 is because that's when the second edition was put out by one of Darwin's sons. So like all of this is just like screaming at me going, wait, all of this is fucked up, but I've already seen a Neanderthal riding a T-Rex, so whatever. Right, but it's just the dude, you could have backed this off or picked a different time frame that still would have been good enough to make this work. But I mean, the idea that's being expressed in that particular book of Darwin is that certain emotions are universal amongst humans. That we make the same facial expressions regardless of culture. And so there's a certain common layer of humanity that there is. And then all of the civilization, especially the Victorians, that are piled onto that are merely artifice that we have the luxury of having. That if you are pressed hard enough, you'll revert back. Now, amusingly, the guy whose home we're in accepts that he evolved from Neanderthal. It's a little off, but okay. But then seems to misunderstand either the theory or they're presenting it incorrectly, that you actually can devolve back to like a prior version of man. That's not what's actually being said, and it certainly isn't what gets carried out in here, right? But it's the primal instincts. They're always there. We cover them up in layers of behavior and social decor and all that, but it's always lurking underneath there.
Angelo here says one of the things I didn't like was how they just kind of explained the theme when the rest of the series shows the theme. Just felt unnecessary.
Oh, go ahead.
Vex.
Go first.
No, Vex. Go Vex. You go ahead.
Okay. Just to address, I get where you're coming from, but I feel that's only one half of what makes up this episode. The other half is reflecting the journey that we have seen Spear go on the first 4 episodes of this season. So again, like a big thing that he has been confronting is leaving behind his primal instincts and embracing more of like like society, right? Expectations, finding other humans to bond with, and how that is creating an internal clash within him. So that's why I really appreciate this episode, because yeah, you can go with the overt, oh, like here it's just kind of describing what the show is like, but it is very reflective of what we've seen our main characters go through, and even the things that unfold throughout this episode. It even, like, many of the weapons that are used and the style in which Darlington starts to attack the inmate and whatnot. It's all things that we've seen before, but with Spear doing. So it's the reverse of everything we've seen so far, which is why I really liked this episode.
That's interesting, because I thought that the layer that you would focus on is the one that started to jump out at me. This is really the battle that we had in the last episode from the opposite point of view.
Yes.
Yep. It's in reverse.
Right.
Which is
These
nice.
are the more advanced people who are more cultured, who have all of this going on, and a crazed lunatic just shows up and starts killing everybody.
Yep. Well, that's what, like, one of the things that's in reverse, right?
Yeah, but it's not the trap. It's not the voyage of Spear and his getting, having
I
to deal
got
with
you.
that.
Oh.
It's literally the Vikings when Spear shows up.
Yeah.
Because the
So you
lunatic
can
is
see
Spear.
it through that frame too. Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed that as well. But I agree with Vex there too. Like, I mean, it's not a long episode. I think it's like 19 minutes and
It's short.
It was like 18 and something with all the
Yeah.
intros and stuff taken out. Yeah.
Yeah, and first of all, the sound for this episode is amazing.
Yeah.
I watched
really
with
well
headphones on, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
great, so yeah, I did the A. Yes,
Great
Oh,
A.
yeah, you betcha.
yeah.
sorry,
Eh?
sorry,
Yeah.
sorry.
What are you talking about? Yeah, the sound's amazing. The animation's done is it's Tartakovsky. Like it's and like the color schemes, again, he knocks it out of the park. And I think to me it just hits that English tone when you watch it. You feel like you're in England. Like I don't know what about it. Like that. I don't know if it's the facial features or the way he designed it. I can't put my finger on.
I mean,
it.
everybody
Color
looks
blur.
like aristocrats. And,
It's the
Yeah.
It's the mutton chops, basically.
yeah, that'll do it.
Maybe.
There you go.
Yeah.
I did have a question, because I was paying attention to the background a lot in this episode, and
Yeah.
I noticed that there is an intentional focus on a lot of horned animals, and the convict has a giant
that
goat
tattoo.
skull on his torso. Is there something that is being foreshadowed with this episode as well?
Maybe.
Perhaps.
Okay.
I guess we'll find out next week.
Oh yeah. I guess we'll find out next week. All right.
I mean,
Uh,
their death is a key theme as we can all tell from this episode, especially because death is tattooed on the inmates' midsection, right? And I forgot who said it as well in the chat, but I had it in my notes here that everything is dead, and everything in the room aside from Charles and Darlington survive. But and I love. There's a lot I did like about this episode. I mean, I understand where Angel is coming from, of course, too. But yeah, because I mean, I've already watched this season, but when I first watched this a couple of years ago, I remember thinking that it almost felt a little disjointed where this came like midway through the season, because I was expecting to learn where our protagonists were going in it, and it just as you said, Vex, goes a 180, and I'm like, why are we going like thousands and thousands and thousands of years into the future when we need to just go like a couple days into their future, right? So it feels odd, and especially with the entire series not having next to zero dialogue. Now this is a full-on conversation between some scientists and learned men, right? And
very, very wordy, very
and it's really interesting. But this time watching it around, it just felt like it was a very well planned out episode and spot to put it in the season because of what happens later on in season 2 here. But one of the things I love about this episode too, I know we'll get to, is the lighting effects were fantastic. Because we haven't really seen a lot of that. But just in this time period, I think you're just saying, Gooch, seeing the rain and like the lightning and the shadows from that, like that just felt like this old timey English period, almost like a Sherlock Holmes type of vibe to it, I guess.
Yes.
You know what it might be? It's the use of warm reds and browns. Maybe that's what's giving you the
That's
English
probably
feel.
it.
The dark corridors too.
Because we haven't gotten that color palette quite a bit in the series. Otherwise, we get more greens and blues.
Rick, I took this episode as you may think you're so much civilized and beyond our ancestors, but when push comes to shove, your baseline of what it takes to survive. Do what it takes to survive still within us, like Spear.
Yep.
Yeah. Another thing that kind of struck me, like especially as the episode goes on, I wonder if this is a bit of Tartakovsky thumbing his nose at people that are like, where's the dialogue? This is easy to write when it's whatever, right? And he's like, okay, what I'm going to show is a bunch of preening people that are totally divorced from real danger, and so all they do is talk. And I have the animal head there, but I've never actually experienced the animal, right? That everything is the abstract, and that's what language does, is it abstracts so much, right? But as the episode goes, talking begins to get up and walk out of the building, right? And you just have yelling and going, right? And that's
screams and grunts.
It becomes more probable because again the actions matter more than the words.
That said, I enjoyed the episode. I do like the evolution thing, and it's badass. So yeah, I could have lived without it, but whatever. Yeah, I thought it was a great episode. I liked it wedged in there. Yeah, it wedged in there perfectly for me. But
I think it's the only way that, because I think I brought it up on the last episode when we were talking about the viewpoints, right? That we're cheering on Spear and Fang and they're wrecking and all that stuff. But had we started watching this series from the B-Jump from the Viking side, this would have been a horror episode, right? That's what we get.
It would have been the monsters,
right? And so we see the monster who is remarkably like Fang or Spear.
Yeah,
I like that you've pointed this out now, Goodwin, because you wouldn't. Like when we were discussing this last week too, it's like, are we supposed to feel bad for the Vikings or not, given what they've done, right? But it's so much easier to contextualize that fear and what they might have been feeling at that time when you put it in a modern setting that seems more familiar to us. Like these people are not necessarily good people. Like they're very like prudish almost, and they're a little bit like they're huffing their own farts.
They're elitist,
right?
Yeah.
And
Snobby
even Right, the constable even points it out. It's like I never understand these people with higher learning or whatever. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I really like that you pointed that out, Goodwin.
Yeah, well, they're also on the cutting edge, right? I mean, the thing is they're not like a bunch of religious fanatics who are believing this thing, right? Their understanding of the world and everything that has functioned for them is scientific. I mean, this is a historical society, so they are interested in these things, right? What they're hearing is this idea of how man can essentially drop all culture and civilization when pressed hard. And if you were talking to like a barracks of military men, they would understand exactly, what Darwin is saying. These men don't, because they're just too separated from it, right? They believe that they've evolved to a level, and again, it's mostly civilizational. That they've reached a point where we're beyond mere emotion and things like that, right? We're all very rational and learned and logical, and then death comes a knocking, and then let's get sharp sticks and poke it.
Yeah, they think there's no way they could ever go back to that. It just couldn't happen.
Right, because they've never experienced a situation where they could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This part here is their meeting's kind of cut short by the police officer here. Warning them about a inmate that an insane inmate that escaped from the asylum from down the road, and just to be aware. And the gentleman kind of,
Correct me if I'm wrong, but sorry, Gooch.
Nope.
Didn't they used to think of insane people during this period as like unevolved, or like they hadn't developed as humans properly? Like, wasn't there some scientific thought in that?
Yes,
because they would like drill holes or take rocks and smash holes in the skull, thinking they were possessed by another creature too. So I mean,
yeah, but we did that, like 5 to 10,000 years ago. Trepanation was a thing that humans did for a good long time. By this era, they certainly understand psychology and psychiatric illness, but there is a parallel belief system that's kind of coming along with Darwin's expression of emotions in man and animals, where they take the earlier Darwinian evolution thing and apply it to society, and so you get social Darwinism, and you get things like Fabianism, which believed that the insane, the criminal, and all that were morally undeveloped. It's where you get the idea of moron. A moron is morally undeveloped, right? They are a lower level of morality. It had less to do with intellect, more to do with the moral thing. That eventually leads us to eugenics. Oh, hell, let's have fun. Then the spicy pinwheel shows up, and everybody kind of tries to forget about that for a while. But that was really those beliefs were pretty fundamental to the idea of progressive thought in this era, that we can solve every social ill scientifically. And it's because of our understanding of evolution that kind of leads us down that incorrect path.
Didn't like a phrenology kind of flow into this way of thinking?
It's prior to that.
Okay.
And actually, Darwin actually uses a bit of phrenology when doing like some of his earlier work on Descent of Man, and some of the initial studies that he did for expressions of emotions. But he eventually kind of rejects that, whereas others, Lamarck and Fabian and all that, they kind of run with it.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Rossi with the super sticker for $1.49. Anyone know what this is?
Oh, I do not have YouTube open.
Peach. Rose?
It's a peach.
It's a peach. Rossi.
Who's the princess?
Jamma, I had watched the 3 episodes in a row leading up to this, and I was so ready for the next chapter in the story. If I were to watch this tonight, I would probably enjoy it more. Yeah, it does catch you up. And also, our boy Cannoli's in the house. What's up there, brother? It's good to see you.
Speaking of devolution.
He says, hello, everyone. Love this episode. Yeah, it's a good episode. And Rossi with some erect roses. I wonder why is that?
Lovely.
Angelo, and I love your comments, Angelo. Keep them coming. It's trying to explain how Spear and Fang were pushed to kill everyone to survive. That even posh Brits will devolve if necessary. Yes, exactly. And of course, Rossi with hashtag butt stuff.
All the butt stuff. Thank you, Rossi. Oh.
Jeez, I think I even moved. So yeah, even to this. So they're telling the police officer that they think they found the man, and then they start pointing to our good boy Charles Darwin, and they start laughing here, and they think it's really funny. And then the police officer leaves, and this is the I kind of missed the one little part where this part here, these educated types are just a pain in the ass, pretty much is what he's saying here. So yeah, on with the conversation, and then they hear a noise. There's a massive storm happening outside, and then they hear a massive bang upstairs, and the call for the butler comes in and says, like, there was a loud noise upstairs, sir. And he goes, yeah, I heard it. We could all hear it. And can you please check it out? So he goes up to check it out. I noticed the animation in this is
the walking is pretty skippy. Yeah, it's very much Scooby-Doo in the beginning.
Plus it's a little rough, if you know, like the line work is
the line work. I did notice that.
Hard,
yes.
Yeah, and I think it's purposeful because of the way he wanted to make it look kind of like Victorian kind of look. Or
I think he wants them to be stiff and unnatural in their movement and all that stuff, because again, these are men that have divorced themselves from nature in so many ways.
Also, like, I did notice, while the line work is choppy in the beginning, by the time the ending scene happens,
it smooths right the hell out, doesn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get back to nature.
Well, even this scene here, it's beautiful shot. The line work here is immaculate. So there's again another loud noise and having a bang, and they look up, and then they continue the conversation, and he says, well, that's over. And then there's a blood drop that falls from the ceiling and lands into this gentleman. I think it's Blakely. I think it's Blakely. The blood falls into his brandy, and he throws the drink on the floor. They look at the ceiling, and there's blood dripping from the ceiling. And,
I like how it's not horror that there's blood in his drink. He's just like, oh, there's blood in my drink. Like,
He throws it on the ground on the carpet. Like,
yeah. And so now they're concerned. So the gentleman will walk upstairs to check it out, the noise, and the two older gentlemen stay behind. And again, the line work from like the storm. A great shot there.
I very much like how he's soft with all of the backgrounds in this episode. I did appreciate that, in contrast to what some of the line work is on the characters. Like, you see how fluid all of these colors and environments blend together. Whereas in the other episodes, when we're in the jungle, it's hit or miss if he decides to do that. So maybe that's also what lends to that, like, London feel a little bit, and it also actually lends quite a bit to the subtle horror thing that it's trying to do as well.
Yeah, and the absence of lighting, right? You know, that you don't have things that are giving you contrast. You know, and the other thing is that, I mean, their vision, just the things that they would be aware of that would detect, right? Like when your adrenaline's up and you know things are looking for you, right? You see much more clearly than you do when you've been sitting on your ass for 70 years and encountering nothing worse than somebody got my brandy wrong.
Message for Vex. The day after I got the neck infection, I got a kidney stone. Limp rose.
It's okay. Death still follows you, so it's totally fine.
the inmate
whole horror thing. What's up, Shieldwell? And Rio, what's up, Rio? Yeah. So yeah, they come across the room. They see blood on the floor. They go to take a look, and bingo, bango, bongo. This is what we see: the butler being chomped on by this cannibal-looking creature, and obviously he's the inmate because he's wearing the pants. And so,
inmates wear the pants in the family.
Yeah, they start running down the stairs, and oh man, that's right here at the. There's your.
Spear's done that too. We've seen him do that time and time again. Jump like that.
Yeah. So, he's attacking the men, and he's just enraged. And this is where barely any dialogue happens. It's just like kind of one word or 3-word sentences here, like, and just like, get him, like, hurry up, like, it's just all intense. And this individual is like taking out all the men and killing them and eating them. And great. It's just like, that's what we get for the next 10 minutes or more.
Basically for the rest of the episode.
You have a bit
Running-
of dialogue occasionally, is stop and prep and all that, but then here comes things again.
Yeah.
And who's surprised that the Frenchman is the first man to die, not the butler? I mean, the butler dies, but then after that, we bring
they're the
Frenchman with us,
prey.
he gets
He's the
knocked out.
hunter. That's the irony. Like, if you remember looking in the room, all those heads, like because they zoom in on them, like the lion head, the tiger heads, and all the bulls and and all
very
that stuff.
Hitchcock.
Yes, where they were the hunters, and they've taken out all these prey, these big like wildlife monsters. Now they've become the prey, and they're facing the monster, and it's really well done.
It's like all of the monsters that Spear and Fang have killed so far.
Yep.
Oh my! Oh, this episode just gets better now as we talk about it.
Yeah.
A lot of callbacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of callbacks.
Yeah. And the fear, and like, because they have no idea. And I love this character. Like, they're looking at the door, and then he's in the window. Like,
I love the change of lighting. So, like, if the lightning flashes and catches it, his eyes do the yellow, but then they go red in the dark. Yeah.
And then then go ahead, Vex.
Sorry. Finish your line first.
Go ahead.
Your thought first. I had a question, because right here they hear like a woman scream, right? And they just look at him like, who's that? And it's the cook. I was just, what was that a reference or callback to?
Well, the joke would be that women were in the kitchen back then. But
she should have survived because she was right where she should have been. No, I think the bigger thing is that, again, these are people that have evolved past the point where they view women like you would, reproductive, must protect, and all that, right? They are so divorced from the natural world and their natural impulses, right, that it takes a while to drag them back to that level.
Because, even the way it registers to all of them in the room, it's not immediate that, an innocent woman died. It's like they take a pause, and then it kind of clicks that, another person has died, but it's still nowhere near the same reaction as, seeing the old French dude get chomped on.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, think about it, though, from a civilized man's view. You do not attack women. That is beneath you, sir, right? And so they are aghast at that. And then it's the house owner who realizes it and kind of steals his jaw, like, that's some bullshit. He's getting a little angry about that. And
They killed the women.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's gonna kill everyone he can, right? That he's just that mad, as the police officer says, right?
Right,
So,
but they're that disconnected to recognize that women would be threatened.
Fair game.
it's Blakely that says in that moment in the room, he's like, "I don't want to die," and they like both look at him like, "You might die, Blakely. Sorry, bud. Put on that samurai helmet, though. That might save you."
Yeah. The blood in the walls, nice touch.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
just to
everywhere.
add that.
It's
intense
just
savagery.
savagery.
Yeah,
That's like the part of the whole red mist
yep.
thing that is mentioned in that article that Angel is talking about. But
Yeah,
I love that shot.
Great shot. There's a lot of callbacks. Like it's also there's that villain that he was a cannibal in, I want to say, in London. He was locked up. They made a movie about him, and he was killed numerous people in jail, outside of jail. That the guards had a tough time with him. Might have been Australian. Bronson, that's it.
Yeah,
I thought of him. Yeah, I thought of him when I was watching this.
Tom Hardy.
Whatever. Yeah, Tom Hardy. Yeah.
Wait,
Great movie.
that guy was a cannibal? Bronson was a cannibal?
I thought
was-
I believe.
He was like England's like most notorious prisoner, I believe.
Yeah, he was the
for
most
some-
violent prisoner.
Yeah.
I don't remember specifically cannibalism, but I know he was the most violent prisoner they had.
What was his name again?
Bronson.
Great movie, Vex.
Yes.
You haven't
Aw.
seen it.
2008 film?
Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The wrestling film, right?
No.
No.
No. Am I
No.
thinking of a different Tom Hardy
You're
film?
thinking of Warrior.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
that's
not Warrior.
why I was like,
Also-
that guy wasn't a
also great.
cannibal.
Yeah. Okay. He's not a cannibal. For whatever reason, I thought cannibal, but I'm wrong. Right?
He does have that
But
vibe though, Gooch. Like he's just that type.
Yeah. He
Shaved
would rip
head
your ear
maniac.
off, and yeah.
Oh,
it would,
yeah.
Like, yeah.
He's got cannibal vibes. I'm like, oh my god.
Oh, you're reading one of his books right now. That's hilarious. Yeah. He would rip like body parts off though, wouldn't he? Like he didn't care. He
Yeah.
was just like
He like bit an ear
vicious.
off.
Yeah. He was vicious. Yeah.
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 Dang. All right, I'm gonna read up on this guy then. That's and he's still alive? Dang. All right. Continue. Sorry.
He's still in prison, I think, right? If I remember
Yep.
Yeah, he's
correctly.
there for life. I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically, these guys are running around the mansion like for their lives, closing doors, going room to room. They pick up the pistol. Now, the one part people want to complain about is that he dodges bullets.
Yeah.
I mean,
I mean, this now makes sense in the context of, if you look at this as the Viking episode in reverse, because they took like tons of arrows and they took stabs and got trampled and all of this stuff, and they were still broken bones, totally fine. So if
Up
it's
there.
like makes sense.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I think the other thing is that it's demonstrating that these men collect these things, but they're not actually familiar with their use. Right? These are just objects of collection. It's very clear none of these people know how to shoot worth a damn.
Yeah, and
Like,
another thing is, you're in this room and you see all the weapons. You see swords and shields and
Shield,
axes and shell cartridge handguns and rifles, repeating rifles. And as the episode goes along, those weapons are not very effective. They lose them, and then what do you end up at the end with?
Sharp stick.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Sharp
Angelo.
stick, your fist, sharp stick, and eventually the spear. So
Yeah.
they devolved to the point where they are now back to the Neanderthal, and
Mm.
it seems to kind of even things up for them because now they're fighting just as dirty as,
Well, I think it's the most.
guy is.
So again, if you're not familiar with weapons, look, if especially for my poor brothers in England who have voted away their rights, if you've only seen the use of firearms on TV, you have no idea how to actually use one correctly. And as you see with like Darwin, where he's blowing off 6 shooters, dual wielding from the hip, and I was like, you might as well just throw them at him. You've got a better chance of hitting than the way that you're shooting, right? But it's understandable because they wouldn't have been familiar with these. These are men who have not actually had to use these weapons. They are vaguely aware in an intellectual sense of how they work, and isn't this neat? But they are. I mean, it's useless. And so as you keep going down, look, if you grab a broadsword, unless you have some training, that ain't working out for you. You can think that
They're
you're very
heavy.
advanced. Yeah, well, and
Yeah.
it takes a tremendous amount of skill, to
Yeah.
actually wield one accurately.
Yeah.
But you think, well, I'm a civilized man. A sword is just whatever's like you get your ass handed to you, right? But if it gets down to the point where I just use a club and a sharp stick, this is basic human kind of things. I mean, we just poke thing with stick is a hell of a lot easier than trying to use a weapon that requires a lot of training for.
Lurker does the Berserker. I think you might be new here, and if I haven't seen you before, but thank you for joining us. The Halberds would have been amazing, and if you have been here, my apologies, but thanks for watching with us. I appreciate it. Welcome to the show, bud. It's basically the thesis statement of the series. You'll do what you need to survive no matter what. Yeah, exactly.
Or you get dead.
Chopping, slashing, thrusting can hook with a curve blade, spike on the back, and the queue or tail often would have thick pointed butt spikes. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing about halberd is it's really designed to go up against men in armor. It's basically a can opener for armor.
Yeah. Nadia.
Nice. Hi,
Five
Nadia.
Gucci Gang memberships. Oh, and you hit me. Oh, wow. Well, for that, Nadia, let me just find something for you. Oh, here we go.
I was unstoppable. Perfect combination of Mountain Dew and mozzarella.
Thanks, Nadia.
And you've unplugged your mic.
What?
And
No, you're back now.
No, you're back. Okay.
Oh, why does it do that?
Oh yeah, you were gifted a membership to your own channel, Gooch.
Yeah. Weird. I try to poke things with my Rossi. I try to poke things with my stick all the time. Limp Rose.
It's the thought and the effort that counts, Rossi. Don't worry. Everyone gets pleasure either way.
Halberds are not very good against Tyrannosaurus. Documentary told me about that one. And Lurker, that would be a poleaxe with either a is that supposed to be a Warhammer head or a hewing head?
With either,
Hewing axe is meant to crush and slash. Yeah.
There's a reason that the halberd has the hook on it. It's to try and upend the guy wearing armor.
So great camera angles like that. Tartakovsky, he's got that down to perfection. Like it's just amazing. Like that perspective shot, like that's fantastic. Like you could see the gun, you see the empty case. Like there's no bullets in the chambers there. Like it's just awesome shot.
Yeah, and I think again, very Hitchcock, Dutch angles and things like that because it really shows off the linear design of rooms, and so when you throw them at an angle, everything looks alien, a little off.
It's interesting again, like how many weapons they have before them, right, in their arsenal, and he does land a shot. Darlington does land a shot with the rifle, but it doesn't really do much, right? And the weapons that actually do the most damage are the primal ones with the spear and the bow and arrow, which we've seen the season through a season and a half now come into lots of usage because of spear and it being fired at and stuck with as well, especially in the last episode.
Good night there, Angelo. Thanks for popping by, brother. Appreciate it. Have a good night.
Angelo.
Good to see you.
Hope to see you next week for episode 6. Good one.
Yeah.
All the weapons on the wall say we don't need these anymore. Pretty much. I think ABF would disagree with you.
Well, he doesn't miss. So
yeah, he never.
He'd be like, "Oh, there's an inmate. Okay, there's no more inmate."
Yeah.
Clean up on aisle 5.
I love the helmet.
Yeah.
Poor Blakely.
Yeah. It's great. This is just like, again, almost like Ghostbusters here too, where they're looking for ghosts.
I was
Scooby-Doo or
Scooby-Doo
whatever.
vibes.
Yeah.
This entire sequence with them just like walking around with the guns, I was just like, how there's the Abraham Lincoln vampire hunter. I just kind of wanted like Charles Darwin bounty hunter or something because this was just this was such a weird mesh of things. I really vibed with
Pride
it,
and Prejudice and zombies suddenly breaks out.
Right. Like it's like Genndy, if you ever watch this, please the green light that idea. That'd be cool.
Darwin Sasquatch hunter.
Cannoli run.
We do have Graph Web for $2. For fuck's sake, hashtag you know what, but you know what? I think we'll just play this instead.
Hey, my favorite 3-letter acronym, for fuck's sake.
Cancel Disney Plus.
Oh,
beautiful.
Not as good as Moxie, but a lot.
Yeah, well, what are you gonna do?
Well, come on.
We can't all be big-tittied redheads with fun personalities.
My balls can only go so high.
You know, Gooch, if you would have sung that note, the inmate would have just fled the house.
I know.
And, like,
It was the mic. It was the mic.
Oh, that was it. That was definitely it.
Thanks, Crapwad. Always good to see you in the chats. Yeah, beautiful. Oh God, I love it. I love it. Yeah, going back to this, like, yeah, very Scooby-ish, Scooby-Doo-ish, very Ghostbusters. I thought Ghostbusters because they all are got the the guns on and they're walking through the halls looking for ghosts and or Slimer at that point. So yeah, kind of I thought it was kind of a callback. But
Darlington's got 3 rifles going for him. It's crazy.
Yeah,
and he's got 2 pistols and a bandolier.
Yeah,
I like this. He's hiding on the ceiling.
Roof. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just like starts just this is the funny part.
Funny.
Oh, I love this.
I love this part.
Oh, you're gonna point that at me again? Nope.
Yeah.
The music cue as well.
Yeah,
While he's
yeah.
oh my goodness.
It was so Bugs Bunny, like Looney Tune-ish. I was like killing myself laughing. So like, if you haven't watched this, it's like, and I wish we could play these episodes, but obviously we can't. He's holding the body up, and so the guys point the guns every time he lowers the body. So once he lowers the body, they point the guns. Then he brings the body up, you lower the guns, and it's like back and forth like 3 or 4 times, and it's kind of funny. The music and everything, it's like great.
Yeah, it's these like Alan scratches.
Yeah, you're in this like you're fearing for your life, and then you get this little humorous.
Yeah. And this guy's playing the world's most dangerous game of peekaboo. Okay.
Yeah. It's great. And then he just throws the body at them, and like they're firing shots all over the place. I love how Tartakovsky's showing the fear, like they're rattling and like can't aim properly and scared, and then he does get shot. This crazy guy, and he takes off and runs into the. I can remember what room that is, but he runs off into a different room.
A botanical garden.
Thank you,
Is
Zach.
that the conservatory there in what he said?
Yes.
Yeah. And then these two go looking for the
It's
inmate.
library first.
Oh, the library. This is where he was on the roof again.
Yeah.
On the ceiling. Yeah. Because they said there's no escape here, and there's no doors. There's no way that he can escape. And he jumps down, knocks them both out, and then we see the fight. And then we see
Darlington.
Darlington.
Yep.
Yeah. He takes off his shirt. Oh, no, he doesn't take off his shirt here yet, but
He's off his jacket.
his jacket, and he's going to box this inmate.
Put him up, buddy.
Yeah. And then we get this part right here where, Darlington for, like a little...
Over
Yeah.
30 years ago, he was a boxer.
Yeah.
When I was a young lad.
Right.
It never goes away. It never goes away.
Yeah. You might get a little slower, but
Yeah.
you still know how to hit.
You got licks in, that's for sure.
It's
Yeah.
like, he doesn't even think it's happened. It's like, what? Did you what?
Well, and again, this is a you moved down, to a level where he is actually familiar and trained in a style of combat, whereas you just have Brute, who's I bring strength. I was like, you're gonna get your ass knocked out if you just bring strength. You might want to bring some technique. But sadly, he was trained in Marcus of Queensberry rules and not MMA. So
Yeah. The more I think about this, I love this episode more and more.
Right. It gets better.
Yeah. So yeah, he's like, you saved me, and so Darwin realizes, like, because he's watching the thing, he's like, oh, I thought you could take care of him, and so he charges with the shield and the sword here, and
He skips the guns. Now we downgrade to bladed weapons,
Sword.
Yeah.
shields.
I do like it's a progressive drop down of weapons though, so
Yeah.
it's not that he goes straight to a spear. It's like, oh, okay, let's go to the sword because that would be the next modern thing. Oh, that's not okay. Let's go with a bow and arrow. Oh no, that's not working. All right, let's just go with a wooden stick.
I think it was a femur bone.
Yep.
For
yeah, the
two.
big bone,
Bone, yeah, like a caveman almost.
Yep.
Oh.
First tools we had were femur bones, and
And this is where the hunting, his hunting expertise kicks in, where he's got the bow. They look into the fountain. They don't see him in the fountain. They
Your mic.
Your mic.
What? Again?
Your mic's garbled.
What? Am I good now?
Still.
It still is. Still garbled.
What?
Nope.
No.
Cable.
Wait, no.
Nope.
My cable's all up.
Oh, look
There
at
you
that.
go.
There you go.
And, now
Yep.
you're back. And we're back.
You got a
Why
short or
is
something,
that
maybe.
doing that?
Yeah, you may have a jank cable.
Yeah.
God dang it. Like, what the hell?
Blasted.
There we go. Okay. Yeah, so like the hunter comes out of him where he's like, now he's like, okay. He's like, sits there and he anticipates where this guy's going to be coming. He's like, come out, you little bastard. I know you're hiding in there. And yeah, he's just like, the instincts of being the hunter out in the safari or wherever are kicking in. And I appreciate it. This is getting this now. Everything's actually becoming primal.
Mm-hmm.
And you're in the closest thing to the jungle this guy's ever been in.
Yes.
Oh,
the
yep.
little garden conservatory thing is lush plants and
all the metal heater shield irks me, but not all folks know that shields would get metal facings or a small plate here or there at the most. Here or there at most.
Yeah, Darwin's walking around with what looks like an all-metal shield. That's not what you would have had.
No, that'd be way too freaking heavy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And yeah, shields are heavy as it is. Yeah. Yeah, they're thick wood. Yeah. So yeah, and then he's patiently waiting, and then the inmate charges out, and they fire the gun and the bows and start, attacking the inmate. Inmate knocks one out, and it goes after Darwin and just starts beating on him. And yeah.
Ooh.
it's probably his teeth didn't shatter out when he did that.
I know.
Yeah. Oh.
What I like about this is like you could feel every thump and thud of when
There's an impact.
Yeah.
Yep.
Mhm.
And a good chunk of that is sound design, but it really is like the artwork. Because again, we started out with kind of this Scooby-Doo level of animation where it's like, maybe animating 1 out of 6 on some of these things, right? And then we're ramping up to 24 frames per second because the more primal you get, the faster the animation goes.
The more primal you get.
Bum bum bum.
Yeah. Yeah. And then he throws Darlington away, and he goes back to Darwin and rips open the shirt and takes a chunk out of his shoulder.
Snack
then-
What?
time.
Yeah, I didn't
Right.
understand why he did that at all. Is it an easy prey thing? Is it a hunger thing?
I think he's cute. So
Yeah, well, he is crazy and has filed teeth. These may
That's
suggest.
okay. That's fair. Okay.
I wonder if he
'cause, like-
thought that he might be a potentially bigger threat. Like, oh, he's older, so I'll deal with him last. But this younger guy might have more.
a little more
Maybe
flesh.
Yeah,
Tasty.
better tasting flesh.
Interesting.
Man flesh.
Okay.
And here comes
Well,
that. He's got
one
that
is
bone.
also he believes to be knocked out. The other one's still awake.
Yeah. Now he goes full.
What
on
I got a
savage.
bone to pick with you, sir.
Looks like meat's back on the menu, boys.
Yeah.
He could be just a nuts thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is where we see our good friend Spear come out in Darlington.
I love the jump and the whole
Mhm.
that.
The yelling. He just starts
Yeah.
screaming the
Full-on
whole
scream.
time now.
That shot there with the lightning.
Look at that lightning, though.
Oh yeah.
He looks like a
Oh.
monster. In this
Yeah, and he's even softened the lighting on the plants, which I didn't notice during the episode.
Yep.
Gray tones. Yeah.
Dang.
Some grays.
Oh.
Nice grays there.
Yep. Oh, it's beautiful. Great animation. Tartakovsky. Like, look at that. Like,
Mhm.
he's so good. Damn it.
It's like a noir thriller a little bit almost there for a second.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and, I mean, you could argue that there's also the parallel that that all artifice has been stripped away. Everything is just black and white. It's live or die.
Mm-hmm.
a tree falls through the conservatory glass ceiling, and then we see him grab a spear and take off his shirt, and he just gets into that primitive stage that
There we go. That's a
Darwin-
stance we've seen
That's
from
stance.
Spear before.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
and,
This is actually Darlington going full Arnie versus the Predator right now.
yeah.
You're one ugly mother.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
He starts staring this guy down. Look at his eyes.
But look, now all the lines are smooth on both of the characters suddenly,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right? Like they're not as choppy as they were at the beginning of the episode.
Yeah. Well,
this
again,
too,
the movement is also so much smoother.
That's true. Yeah, this too. Wasn't there an episode where Spear was just like manically was it the monkey episode?
Yeah.
Where he's
I
just
think it was.
Yeah.
okay.
Oh, it's also the one of the bears. He just stab, and it doesn't do it much, and then
That was one. Yep, you're right.
Mm-hmm. Then gets him.
Here's the spot, like jumps up and boom.
Bam.
yep, definitely haven't seen him do that before.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get this part right here where Darwin's
Yeah.
looking at him, and then
I love just
yeah,
Best line.
tell
The
you
whole-
how.
And there it is.
well, he comes back. He comes back. Darlington's coming back, and he realizes what he's done, and he's in horror, and he looks at Darwin, and it's like, yeah, I told you so.
Yeah. Ah!
yeah,
And that's how the
Tally-ho!
episode ends. Yeah.
yeah, and that's pretty much the end of the episode.
Baffled.
Great
Mother.
episode. This is I know some people still give it like a 7 or 6 or 7 out of 10, but I love this episode. Wow,
Yeah.
was it amazing?
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's get everyone's opinions. Like Blair, your thoughts on tonight's episode?
Yeah, I'd give it a solid 9. I mean, it was so far out of left field from what we've been getting
Mm-hmm.
that it was almost like, wait a minute, I don't think I'm going to like this at all. But I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the evolution of the people and their speech and their weapon choices until finally we're just right back to Spear and, that kind of fighting. I thought it was beautiful. And the lightning effects, at the end and everything. And, I kind of thought it was kind of funny, the Scooby-Doo moments where they're like slinking around. I thought it was kind of funny and humorous, especially the little peekaboo part.
Yes.
That was the best part
It was,
when they did that. The humor of it.
It was almost Laurel and Hardy-ish, actually, when I think about it even more.
Very,
yeah.
Very
Yeah.
old school, comedy.
Yeah,
Three Stooges type
Three
thing.
Stooges,
And
yeah.
yes.
yeah. And you gave it a 9 out of 10?
Yes, I would. Really
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
And Scotty, I gave it 9 out of 10 too. So, Nick, your thoughts there, brother?
Yeah, this it was a solid choice, and I don't remember what Genndy said initially when he decided to put this episode here in the middle of season 2, but it has great juxtaposition for the previous episode and the themes that we see in episode 4, which was, a very tremendous episode. And just kind of seeing, the savagery that we still see in 1890 here, and the, theory that nature is still a son of a bitch and it's always going to be violent. And, look at how animals still act to this day and age. It is very, very unforgiving. Animals have no mercy for their kills and their prey. And we're kind of that same thing. And obviously this is just showing because of Charles's theory on everything. And I loved the arrogant nature in the dialogue between the other gentlemen and how it all just sort of plays out in the end. And it's just this like descension and ascension at the same time. based on what's happening, and between the inmate and Darlington kind of almost swapping places for who they become is quite interesting, and what it says about, you know, Spear, because you can see Spear in both of them, which is just saying that Spear in his primal nature is with everyone, because when it comes down to survival, we're going to kill what needs to be killed in order to survive, which is what Spear has done his entire life and is going to continue doing. And as much as I know everyone wants to get back to seeing our boy do his thing with his female lady T-Rex partner, it was nice just to kind of think about something outside of the box for once, but still kind of apply that same tone in a, you know, modernized you know, world and civilization. But lighting was tremendous. Loved it, especially in a different setting inside a home. The lightning effects were fantastic. The sound design was incredible as well. I would give it a solid 9 out of 10 for me.
I wanted to touch on, you mentioned a couple of key words like survive, kill, and then you can add prey into there.
Yeah.
If you, in the intro, if you watch my intro and if you watch the Tartakovsky, those are the 3 words that flash up throughout the intros. So it's funny how we're all repeating those words as we talk about this episode. Just kind of throwing it out there.
Yeah, it's good.
Goodwin, sir.
Yeah, I was again. I was a bit thrown off to begin with, and doubly so when I was like, "Wait, your dates are wrong." But yeah, I mean, if I'm going to start nitpicking, you know, temporal anomalies in this show, I'm just going to be doing nothing but screaming. I mean, there were a few things that were interesting to me, and one of them was, I mean, I actually looked up afterwards. I was like, when did this air? Because this almost feels like a Halloween episode kind of thing, right? But it didn't. It was actually in August when this episode aired. You know, it makes sense within the timeline, and there are, you know, so many different kind of narratives and themes that are happening at the same time, but they all manage to converge all at once, and you don't necessarily have to get this bit of it to still get the larger you know, theme that's going on. There's an interesting examination of like those who accept the reality of the situation and those who don't, and you have early on those who are either, you know, taken completely by surprise or just don't quite get it and die off. And so the last 2 you have are those that were able to, you know, to kind of go back either through a certain set of skills or just, you know, the recognize the situation and made the right choices. It reminds me of there was a movie with Anthony Hopkins like back in like the late 90s where he's talking to someone about a survival situation. Because Hopkins ends up like gets somebody and his wife are planning to kill him, and they basically just like dump
the
him.
Plane crash, and they're out in the woods, the bears.
Yeah, there's a bear and all that. Yeah. And the thing that he says just always kind of stuck with me. He was like, "Do you know why most people die in the wilderness in survival situations?" And the guy's, I don't know, it's training, it's this, that, whatever. And Hopkins said it's shame that you are unwilling to do what is necessary in the moment to survive, right? That the baggage of civilization and what you're accustomed to and all of that, right? That you choose that rather than choosing to stay alive. And you kind of see that mirrored in this episode, right? Those who at the end of it go, you know what, sharp stick, let's go and just let it all out. That gives you the best fighting chance. But it also demonstrates that when you take that kind of primal passion and focus and combine it with intelligence, you can beat the thing that is simply brutish and already understands the basic primal nature of what's going on, right? And you've seen that repeatedly with Spear versus much larger animal foes, and you see that in this with a giant, lunatic who, if he gets a hold of you, you got a problem. But if you think and you use your brain and also understand what's going on and apply that, then you can defeat it, right? So parallels a lot of things. And the other thing is, I wonder how much of this is fourth wall breaking, where Tartakovsky's kind of looking at the audience going, you might want to pay attention to this, right? You're either looking at this as isn't this cool to watch, or why isn't there talking, or all of that. And he's like, let me just get you back up to speed. Let me readjust, your thinking on things. And so, I mean, there's, we talk about the parallels between the Vikings versus Spear and vice versa. The idea that we're too disconnected from nature, but also that, look, sometimes you just have to accept this is the reality. Get to, getting bloody. Let's go. And so, yeah, there's a lot going on. And it was far more, because I watched it the first time and I kind of looked at my wife and I was like, all right, wait a minute. I'm gonna need to chew on this a bit, right? Because if you just watch it and then speed on to the next one, you're gonna miss a lot about this. You really ought to watch it and sit and think about it a bit, right? The everything it's trying to say, everything it hints at, and all that. And this is it's a hell of an episode. I think I'd probably give it like a 9.5.
Oh wow!
I mean, the artwork is tremendous. I like the conceit of everything kind of being stiff at first, because these are people that live in an unnatural world in the very stiff upper lip Victorian kind of reality. And I think it's proper to be in Victorian England, right? This is the most truly disconnected from the wild world that you could possibly get, right? And then as things speed up, I mean, again, we've talked about the lighting, we've talked about the Hitchcock style shots that happen within the houses with the Dutch angles. The blood on the wall is great because it's exactly not the place that you would think to look if you were civilized or whatever. It's like, this is just, savagery incarnate. Blood's going to be everywhere, right? And then as they just continue down and that final battle, I mean, it is magnificent with the lightning, with the near Matrix style jump and spin kind of thing that Darlington pulls off. It's a really great episode, but you need to think about it a bit.
Yeah, it seems like you did, sir. Holy shit!
Well said.
That was, yeah. Also, Rossi for $2. I would love to see Genndy to do Dark Knight Returns. He could do anything. I would pay money to see it. Like, it's just, he's unbelievable with his animation, storytelling, everything. Like, it's just, he's brilliant. Vex, I'm really curious to hear what you have to say about this.
I give this episode, I give it 9.5 women in the kitchen out of 10. I really like this episode. It gets better. Like, I guess the only 0.5 that really takes away from it is that, like, we got like 4 really like intense action packed episodes leading up to this, and then this is like a complete tone shift. It works, but it just it's after that really intense ending in the last episode, you're hoping for more, right? So that's really the only place where it loses points. But I echo basically all of Goodwin's observations, more or less. The coloring was very good. The lighting was very dynamic. Once again, he's improving episode over episode on it. I do like I don't mind the mix and match of timelines. I'm sure if we looked around, there's maybe an interview where he states why he chose the characters he did, but it explains what he's trying to do perfectly. There's multiple angles that you can interpret the episode as well, which is another reason why it's just it's so good. I watched this episode twice back to back. I haven't done that with any other episode in the series so far. That's how impressed I was with this one. There's like sitcom TV shows always used to do this, right? They'd have that mid-season episode that just completely stands out from the rest. It's a complete tone shift. They do something experimental and it doesn't work, and somehow he takes us out of, dinosaurs versus Vikings to 1800s London, and it still works really well. So I'm more curious now, what's going to happen for the rest of the season, because there's clearly a lot that's being alluded to as much as there is being called back to.
Well, not only that, we get season 3 at some point this year. So,
oh, that's the other thing too. This very much feels like Genndy just testing the waters for that, because he did reveal that season 3 it wouldn't be Spear and Fang anymore, right? It would the series would be treated like an anthology moving forward.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
I think he's been consistent with, and I get what you're saying about the time frames and all that, but he fools around with it. He does the same thing with Samurai Jack. He likes to take snippets from this time period and put it into this time here, and he did that with this. Like when you look at Spear, he shouldn't be with a dinosaur.
Yeah.
That's millions
65 million years of difference there.
He should not be with Vikings, because again, that's probably millions of years. So like the time frames, like it doesn't matter when it comes to his world and what he's putting on, the TV or it's the TV or the big screen. I think this is a brilliant episode. You guys nailed all the points. I mean, the animation is just like the color, the lighting, the camera angles, everything about it is just beautiful. Again, you get pulled into that environment, like you felt like you were in the house with these guys. So like the sound, everything, like you just like it gets intense. Then he adds humor to lighten it up, and then he pulls you right back into the intensity. It's great. He's like the direction for his episodes are just. Bar none. He's just a master. So 9.5 for me on this episode. Zach, are you there? I was kind of curious to hear, and if you're done with your art there, but
I rated it 10 out of 10. This is pretty much an overall of the whole show so far, and I interpreted the way the characters, those last two fighting, as if the Spear's bloodline actually continued in one of them. So I mean, there's a lot of like different things that you guys have said for it. When I was watching it, I was like, oh, so I was taking as it one way where his bloodline carried all the way down to London, and it's actually in the guy who won the fight. To prove a point of what Darwin was talking about, and I don't know, like the show is just brilliantly written. So that's all I got to say for it. I haven't finished strong, but this is how far I got in.
Oh wow,
Ooh.
dude!
Wow,
That's cool, man.
This is how it's shown, but this is how it's supposed to. How it's supposed to be. How he's falling down through the glass.
Oh
That's
wow,
dope.
that is dope, dude.
So,
you are
Nice.
again,
you're like leveling up every time.
Oh
you do
yes,
it.
every
Yeah.
episode. Yep.
Yeah, dude.
yeah, I'm still working on adding glass pieces, blur motion, and detail, but this is how far I've gotten.
Beautiful.
Dude, that's
Very
sick.
beautiful.
It'll be finished tonight and posted up.
nice.
And Mr. Tartakovsky, if you are watching this at some point, you see that artwork, you should hire my boy Zach. He would be a great addition.
That'd be
Mhm.
awesome. Yeah.
That's the end of that episode. We're next week, obviously, episode 6. We'll go quickly around the horn to see what everyone's got up for the rest of the week. Blair, what you got going on this week, brother?
Thursday, Roman of the Empire, we're doing Riddick, the last of the Riddick movies. And then I'll be here for Kaiju number 8.
Yeah. Nice. Is that it? You got
Yes,
you got this. Okay. Rick, what you got going? Or Nick. Sorry. I was looking at something. I was looking at something. I was looking like Rick's like saying dope, and then I looked at. Sorry, my apologies. Nick,
Rick from The Walking Dead, right?
No, I was thinking Rick and Morty. That's what I was thinking.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
Hey, Morty. Hey, Morty.
Hey, Morty. No. Actually, there's a funny story. I'll tell you later. So tomorrow, we're talking about Rogue One. Potentially the best Disney Star Wars thing.
I agree. Yes.
I don't want to say movie, just thing overall.
I enjoyed it.
You know, well, that's what we're going to debate tomorrow. I'm very curious to really hear everyone's take, particularly Leon's and Badger's, of course. Yeah. I'm sure it's going to make for some great conversation. And then we're talking about one of the best animes that came out yesterday. I am having a freaking blast reading the manga. I have every volume now. It is fantastic. I could not help myself.
You love that, buddy. You need this.
I know. That's next. That's next.
I love. Oh,
that is next.
I love it.
So then we're talking about that Thursday, and then Saturday over on Nyat's channel and Film Comics Explained. We're gonna be talking about Starship Troopers.
Oh, nice.
For democracy and freedom. And I just put out a video on my channel covering season 1 of Landman and why you should watch it. Not just the show, but also my video.
And please go check out his video. Go check out his channel and subscribe. The man is great. So, yeah.
Landman's a great series.
Yes.
Yeah. Mr. Goodwin, what you got going on there, sir?
Well, mobile infantry made me the man I am today. Yeah, I'll be here on Thursday for Kaiju number 8. Then Friday, B-roll stage, with Adam doing B-sides. Saturday we'll be on Niats, discussing Starship Troopers, and that's a welcome change from the dog shit that we've been covering of that. And then we'll be back Tuesday for Primal, where I'm betting that we get back into a more primitive era.
I'm not going to say anything, but you never know.
A palate cleanser there, Emperor?
I mean, again, anything to wash out the taste of the last 5 movies that we watched on Neon.
That was a run there.
Vexy, what you got going on, girl?
Thank you for having me. This was a great episode, great discussion. Just Sunday, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, early morning Vexhibitionism. Episode 10. We made it to 10 episodes. So
wow, already? Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, I know. So I will be reviewing Wind River on Sunday. So, yeah.
Nice. And please, if you don't know, go check her out on her channel. She is phenomenal. I love the girl to death.
Thank you.
And Rossi for $2. You're all the best. Much love. Right back at you, buddy.
Right back at you, Rossi.
Oh,
was that butt stuff I heard?
There was movement.
Oh, maybe.
Mating call? What?
Yeah, please go check out their channels. And Zach, do you have anything going on there, brother?
Just nothing but drawing, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, go check out. If you haven't, go check out him on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. And he's got some great art. If you want to buy a piece, you can send a DM to him and make an offer, or he'll give you the price value. And he will be doing an auction with all the pieces that he's drawn. We're going to do it probably in March. So save your money. If you like one of these pics that he's penciled and inked, you can get that for a good price. So
or avoid the competition. I mean, there's some of those that are going to have a lot of bidders. So you might want to hit him up and try and get ahead of him.
The money goes towards him getting lifts in his shoes. So please,
yes, we're hoping to get him to 4'8".
Yes, As for me, I'll be back here tomorrow night with the guys. We're going to be talking Rogue One, and watching it the second time around, it's like, yeah, we're going to have a discussion, that's for sure. And Thursday, Kaiju number 8. Oh, I love that series. Great manga, great anime, a lot of fun. And then, of course, Friday, turning Goochonese, and then Sunday, late night with Gooch and the gang. Having a blast over there. Man, that show has just become something. So thank you to the chat. You guys, I appreciate you a ton. Always look forward to it. I hope to see you guys next Tuesday for episode 6. And if you want to swing on by tomorrow and Thursday, it'd be awesome as well. And only one thing left to say now. So you know what's coming.
Stay Gucci,
Stay
my friend.
Gucci.
There it is. Stay Gucci.
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?